Welcome to Sipping on Excellence. This is Coach KJ, and I'm here with my man, my dude, the Doc.
And this is where we will be discussing the exceptional that is absolutely attainable. My friends, here's to living that extraordinary life.
Cheers.
Yeah, I ain't giving y'all the all right.
I'm sounding real excited today. Getting myself adjusted so we can sip.
Welcome to another episode of Sipping on Excellence, y'all. We got a good one for y'all today.
Yes.
We got a real good one for y'all today.
Yes.
We've been doing
shit y'all been talking about in them streets.
We've been punching people in the mouth lately.
Yeah. Yeah.
So put your mouth guard in, because this ain't gonna be no different,
man.
This ain't gonna be no different.
Listen, man. Listen. All we trying to do is help you rethink your thoughts before you start spreading your thoughts.
We're trying to help y'all get out your own
actions.
way. We're trying to help you get out your own way,
man. Those afterthoughts. You be like, oh, should I say that, or should I do this? Or you already did it.
Well, here's something too. Let me adjust. Here's something too, man. These fools, not y'all ain't fools, but these people need to start listening to our lives.
I know.
Y'all need to start catching up on our lives, because it leads. There's a reason why we call it the warm up show.
Yeah, you've been in LA way too long. Because you said fool.
Because it's
a Cali word,
right? It leads you up to what's coming Saturday to Wednesday. We warming up. We're getting y'all warmed up for Wednesday,
right?
And some of the stuff we could get, we may have a topic in mind for Wednesday, and then that Saturday conversation with y'all
change everything,
changes that shit up,
change all of it.
And we came guns blazing this past Saturday. Go on SOE_podcast, look at the last reel. Go on mine at Lionel Hunt, look at the reel. Either one, you'll see the podcast warm up show. That one there, y'all might want to listen to it twice, because we brought the heat that day.
I'm just saying.
We brought the heat.
That was very unexpected, too.
So, I want to talk about just this week. You know? Y'all wear me out. Just, you know what bothers me, man? People who think they're smart and they're not.
When you say that, what do you mean?
Meaning, when I try to explain something to people and they keep battling me on something that they know nothing about, and I just sit there and look at them like, are you going to let me give you the answer, or are you just going to still keep talking in circles because you want to sound smart?
Now, do they ask you something?
No.
Or
they try to tell me something.
Okay.
And be dead ass wrong.
And then you're trying to feed them
with the right answer.
Yeah. And something that's in your wheelhouse, something that you know as a
not
fact.
something that I'm guessing.
Right.
I'm like you come to see me as a patient and you're going to tell me what's wrong with you. I know my body. I know what's wrong. Then why are you here? I get it. Why are you here? You could have ended all of this by just not coming. You're going to tell me what's wrong with you, and I'm going to tell you the diagnosis. When I tell you the diagnosis and you're like, nah, that's not it. Cool, then I guess we're done here. You know?
It's like training and coaching. You know, people come to me, they ask, you know, well, I want to lose weight. Well, I think I should be doing high reps and a ton of cardio. I'm like, oh, okay, then why are you here?
Yep.
People say, I'm trying to figure out, should I change my career, or should I, dive deeper into my job or whatever? Okay, where's your passion? Where's your heart? What are you going through? Like, what are you feeling? And I'm trying to pull things out. And as I'm pulling these things out, they're saying, well, I think I need to do, like, wait a minute, slow down. Let's take a deeper dive.
Let's uncover the problem
why
first.
You stuck where you are. If you knew the answer, you wouldn't be in front of me.
That part.
Yeah. So, don't waste my, I always say, don't waste your time. That's the polite way of saying don't waste my time.
I've gone past polite.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't waste mine or yours.
Yeah,
Somebody else could have been in this spot. I got a waiting list.
it's real talk.
I got a waiting list. You taking up valuable space and air.
That's real talk.
You
man.
know, and it's annoying, man. It really is annoying.
It must have really hit a nerve.
Well, not today. Just over the past, I look back when I have conversations with people, and here's the thing, man. This is what I've noticed, even in a social setting. The minute people find out what I do, they immediately want to flex on how smart they are. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this ain't a competition. I don't care how smart you are. We just hanging. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to try. You don't have to spit your resume at me. I don't care about none of that shit. We just hanging. It's a bunch of us having dinner. It's a bunch of us just sitting around chatting.
I mean, it's like you come to me to train, but you have a background in training. And you know the body probably way better than I do, in and out.
I don't say shit.
And what do we do? Do I say, you need to engage your latissimus dorsi to No.
Dude, I need you to do this.
And squeeze your back.
Yeah. And
squeeze your shoulder blades together. Do this. You know? I don't make it hard. It doesn't have to
push your knees out.
Yeah.
It's not. I know you know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Like, it's funny because patients are always like, you speak in layman terms. I was like, if I talk to somebody who has no knowledge of medicine in layman's terms, they understand it. If I talk to another surgeon in layman's terms, they understand it. I don't have to have two different languages to talk to two different people about medicine.
No.
If I dumb it down, everybody understands it. Doctor or not, But it's just, I hate when people feel like they have to. I don't need you to impress me.
Yeah.
I don't need you to impress me with how smart you are.
Which means they go through their entire life doing that.
Yeah.
With everybody, everything. Or there are probably a lot of one-uppers when they get in certain scenarios. They always got to one-up everybody.
Why do you think that is, though?
Insecurity, man.
Not only that, look at the value people place on social status.
How's that working out for them?
I mean, seriously, look at the value that is placed on wealth status, social status, sexual capital. Guess what, y'all? We're going to get into all that shit tonight.
Yeah.
Because it's what drives the world. It's what drives relationships. And relationships is what drives the world.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah. What do you think has more weight? How much wealth or how it looks that you have wealth?
I think to the individual, they would rather be wealthy than look wealthy. Mm-hmm. I think, let's back up. I think the really wealthy don't give a damn about looking wealthy. That's why you got, the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world wearing the same T-shirt every day. Mm-hmm. But you look at those who are in the middle class who are so worried about wealth status. They're not poor, but they're so worried about wealth status that they spend all of their money trying to look rich. Mm-hmm. It's funny, You ask people why they want to make money. Because they want to climb that social ladder and be more accepted. You ask me, I would much rather make a ton of money so I could disappear.
Absolutely.
So I could just be obscure. I would still do what I do every day. But I would rather be wealthy and nobody know me than not be wealthy and everybody know me. And in the days of social media and social capital being so important. It's funny. I heard somebody talking. I was watching this documentary this weekend, and they're saying, you know, when they go out on auditions, the first thing they ask you is, how many followers do you have? Not looking at your talent, but what's your social capital? And right now, more so than money, your social capital is based purely on your social media and how many people follow you, engage with you, whatever. You know, I've seen ads for parties where the VIP line is based on your social media following. You got 1 million plus followers, that's your line. You got less than 100,000 followers.
Really?
In that line.
So that's what happens when you ain't in those streets no more.
No, but it's just, it's you see these things pop up and you're like,
man,
well, that's fucking dumb, you know, but it starts to affect kind of everyday life. You know, think about this. I hear this all the time, and you even hear about it in the practice of medicine. Oh, so-and-so is CEO of this company. They're talking about a patient. I've seen patients, we talk about patients in group settings for teaching purposes. So for like, you know, when we present cases to a group of surgeons, you'll hear, this is a 57-year-old gentleman who's CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Or this person is... Why does that make a fucking difference to the fact that he's got a spinal cord injury? But it was that silent flex, but not so silent, saying we should look at this dude differently because he's CEO of a company. Or when people tell me who their patients are, when they bring up celebrity patients, when that celebrity is not part of a conversation.
That's actually kind of sad.
They find a way to throw shit in.
Right.
You know, what do you think? Why do you think, let's take it to a simplistic form. Why do you think people name drop?
Dropper.
You know, why do you think people name drop? People name drop because if I tell you, Coach, I'm real good friends with Bedros. The shitty part is not knowing if you know that person or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people do that all the time. I'm like, oh, really? Hey, man, you know this person? Shit, I got caught. Or people who, I know this guy, man, who every time he's out. Now, he rubs elbows with Hollywood elite, etc., right? But whenever he's out, he takes a picture of them, then he'll post them on his Instagram, and he'll always be like, yeah, hanging with my boy. And he could have just met that dude.
Oh, he does that.
In that moment. You know, he's in the room, like he may be hanging out in somebody's, he may be hanging out in somebody's living room, but he uses it to boost his social capital, because if people think, oh, he knows this person, I'm going to invite him to the next function, or I'm going to have him in the room because I think he knows somebody that I may want to know. And that right there is way more important than, oh, that dude's rich. In a town like LA, having money means absolutely nothing if nobody knows you. So social capital is almost worth more than financial capital in the world of relationships.
It took me back to those days, especially in the 90s. You know, Atlanta, very, 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 at that time, I mean, things have changed, whatever, but at that time, very, very big on how it looks.
Yes.
How you show up to the club, what you in, who were you with. But when they're going home by themselves, time to take the tux in. You know, it's going back to that pumpkin.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, they're renting the car. They're damn near renting the friends or the people that they're around. Or Miami.
Yes.
Going to the club in Miami.
Same
going
thing.
to clubs. If you had to call 2 to 3 girls to get in a club just so you can get in.
Well, think about this, man. I've seen people post on social media and talk about on podcasts what your watch means, what the car you drive means,
Okay.
and not just is it an expensive car or not, is it an expensive watch or not, what type of watch it is, what type of car it is. If you drive a Porsche, what does that say about you? If you drive a Ferrari, what does that say about you? Mm-hmm. So financially, you're spending money. Socially, what gets you more clout? $100,000 AP or $100,000 Hublot? People be like AP because nobody likes you. You know what I mean? So it's because it's supposed to be a higher social status, harder to get, piece, whatever the fuck it is. Mm. So people look at you differently based on their perception of your social status. You can walk into a room and rub elbows differently based on what people think you are. Mm-hmm. Not, I think this person has money. The mere fact that I say I'm a doctor, I could be broke as shit. But the mere fact that I say I'm a doctor or surgeon, people have this perception in their brain what that means, right, and it automatically opens doors.
Yeah.
I could be dumb as shit and broke. Think about it.
Yeah.
I know some.
Yeah.
But yet, it opens doors.
Yeah.
I mean, think about who flexes more, men or women?
I would say women.
I'm going to disagree with you, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Why do men flex?
To get the woman.
Right. And why is it important for a man to flex? Hypergamy.
Yeah.
Women will want to, hate or love it, it's the truth. Yeah. Women want to date and are attracted to a dude of higher status, social status, higher sexual capital, which we'll get into, higher wealth status than themselves. And so dudes flex because that puts them up.
I get that.
Women flex on each other.
Well, that's probably where my mind was.
And not even really flex. Women just buy shit so they can impress women. Because they know flexing for a dude, buying that Birkin, a dude could give a shit about the purse, the purse you carry. He doesn't know the shoes you have on aren't Payless. You know, so it's interesting, but we do what we do. We puff our chests up. We get the big jobs. We drive the nice cars. We do all these things because we, from the beginning of time, want to peacock.
Yeah.
We want to show that we are the best mate.
We have the biggest feathers and it attracts.
We want to show that we are the biggest, best, baddest lion in the pride. Mm-hmm. That's going to get all the women and make all the babies. You know, that's what our DNA tells us. Your DNA tells you, I need somebody better than me. Mm. Because if he's not better than me, how can he provide, protect, lead?
All those things, yeah.
All those things that you say you want. And so when we ask ourselves, does social status matter? It has to, because we all are victim of succumbing to it.
In some way.
Yeah. We're all a victim because we all, whether we want to or not, we look at people differently we look at them different if we think they are from a higher social class, if we think they are wealthy, if we think they are smart. Mm-hmm. If we see them and they're attractive, we call it pretty privilege. That's just high sexual capital.
Mm-hmm. Think about every time you're with a group or whatever, you see a friend talking to someone, what's the first thing we say? You're like, oh, who was that? Second thing.
What does he do?
Every single time.
And if you want to increase your sexual capital, oh, that's my boy Kenny. He plays for the Cowboys. What does that do to me now? It means I got a dude that plays in the NFL.
Right.
That's my homie. And
so there's a level of equation.
People now, your social status goes because they know what you do.
You may not be him, but your relativeness to him.
Oh, who's that? Oh, that's Jay-Z's business partner. Boom.
Yeah.
Stock just went up. Just by
not entertainment entertainment manager, whatever. No. If you said that name, that's what they're tied to.
Now the affiliation gave you social status, whether it's true or not. You know, and so we are all guilty of looking at people differently. Think about this: two guys walk into a room. One dude is Adonis walking. Another dude is just an average dude. Mm-hmm. Adonis walking has to do nothing but keep his mouth shut and not say something stupid. The average looking dude has to tap dance. He's got to be funny. He's got to be witty or something in order to pull the same woman. Mm-hmm. Because if his sexual capital isn't high, he better have money in his pocket. He better have high social status, which if he's a funny dude and friendly and everybody knows him, in that room, you walk in, everybody's like, oh, Kenny, what's up? Oh, what's up, Kenny? Hey, what's up, Kenny? What's going on, man? Mm-hmm. Now, your social status is up here because why does everybody know him? I want to know him now.
What does he do?
Right, but even so.
But they want to know who you are.
Why does everybody know him? Now I want to know him. Right. You immediately become attractive regardless of everything else because everybody knows you.
Insane.
That's crazy, right?
Insane. It's like there's a level of magnetism towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, man. Like, prime example. I remember years ago, I was out at Sky Bar.
Okay.
In LA. This is probably 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Probably 15 years ago. And I'm sitting having, I was there for somebody's birthday party. And I'm down, how the setup is the pool, and then there's the upstairs area. So I'm by the pool, hanging out, whatever, having a cocktail. And you know how you can tell somebody there's itching to walk up to you. And this woman, she's watching me, and all of a sudden I see her coming. I'm like, okay, here we go. So she rolls up on me. She's like, hey. I was like, hey. Doesn't ask my name. Doesn't ask shit. She looks at me and she's like, can I ask you something? I was like, yeah. She's like, what do you do? And I didn't even skip a beat. I was like, I'm a mechanic. She grabs my hand. She said, let me see your hands. I showed her my hands. She kind of looks at them, flips them over, looks at me. She's like, you're a fucking liar. I don't know why you can't tell me the truth, and walked off.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where she couldn't quite understand. And the thing is, I knew people there, so people kept coming up saying hello, and I was just by myself. They'd walk over, hey, what's up, man? And roll off. Hey, what's up, man? Or I nod, do my drink up. So I knew people. She couldn't figure out why, so she said, fuck it, I'm going to come ask. And when she asked and didn't get the answer she wanted, pissed her off. Same night. Now, my brother calls me. He's like, you need to come up here. Text me. You need to come up here right now. I go up there. Him and his wife are standing there talking to these group of girls in a semicircle.
Okay.
And so I walk up, and I just go around the circle. There's like 4 or 5 of them. Introduce myself.
Yeah.
Shook this person's hand. Shook this person's hand. Went to shake this person's hand. She just looked at me and didn't even put her hand up and just turned and started talking to one of her girlfriends.
Okay.
So the one standing next to her quickly reached out and grabbed my hand and introduced herself. And I was like, whatever. Started talking. I turned my back and started talking to another group of people, right? Some funny shit. So a couple seconds later, I feel tapped. My brother's like, dude, give me one of your cards. I'm like, all right. I thought you needed to. Gave him my card. I continued the conversation.
Tell
right?
how old that is. We had cards.
Right. So I just pulled out my wallet and handed him one because he never carries one, and I always have one or two. So I gave it to him. Within like 30 seconds of me doing this, I felt I felt the top of my shoulder. The woman who didn't shake my hand.
Didn't shake.
The one who didn't shake my hand is now standing there with my card in her hand.
Oh, okay.
And she was just like, excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't know, blah, 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 whatever. She starts talking.
She didn't know what?
She's like, I'm so sorry. I wasn't trying to be rude. I didn't know that. She's like, oh my God, blah, whatever. So then she starts telling me, well, I work for this company and she's in medical sales. And I just stopped her. I was like, excuse me, are you trying to sell me something at a party? No. I was just talking to you. I was like, you have my card. Call and make an appointment. And I turned and walked off. But I was Stanley until she got my business card, and all of a sudden I became interesting. Why? Because my social status just immediately raised because of what I do, and she felt that I could provide something of value to her, which instead of just being kind and learning that I could have been of value because she was kind, now I am no value to her because she wasn't kind.
You know what the most interesting part about that is? She's in sales. She's in a relationship business.
She fucked that up.
Everything is about relationships.
Yeah.
And engagement. She stole her opportunity. She stole her own opportunity of engagement, of increasing the value of a relationship that can potentially become something down the line.
Yeah.
So how is she doing well? And she probably isn't. I mean, we don't know, as a salesperson, because
I guarantee you she's not doing as well as she could be.
She could do, because she's chasing the wrong things.
And it's one of those things where if people don't know when they meet you, they look at you differently. And I've seen it switch so often. The level of interest change immediately when they figure out who you are, what you do. If people know you, if they don't know you, they think you have money. Or you're sitting there talking to somebody and then you go to get in your car and they're like, oh shit, hey, nah, it's one of those things where I get why as a woman you would want to marry up. I get why you would want to date up. I get why status is important to you, etc. But you never know who you're blowing off.
Yep.
Because nobody gives you their story. The person whose story is written on their face is the person who's probably lying about their story. The person who's flashing it all in front of you is probably sharing that car with 50 of his boys. The guy that's flashing it in front of you is probably a fake piece of jewelry. So these are all these things, and but yet we place so much value on those things. We place way too much value on fame. Like people chase fame now,
yes,
more than money.
It's the idea. It's like fame is like an idea of what the internal is like, what the value is, and it's just a shiny coat.
And it's so easy with social media now to become famous, whatever fame means to you.
Yeah, it made me think about you mentioned Bedros earlier. Shout out to Bedros, my dude. I can say that, but Bedros is at one of his summits. Sky, I'm not gonna name any names. Big social media following, huge social media following.
Yep.
Guy comes in, He's talking. He got tattoos everywhere. Him and his girl. That blah blah blah. Blah. He's talking to Bedros, and Bedros like, so what's your business like? And he's like, well, probably doing this a year. Blah blah. He's like, really? Okay, so you have X amount million followers. Based off of that alone, it should be X amount of dollars based off of your followers. Based on that, you are wasting a lot of fucking time. And he was like, dude, you got to sign up with my coaching. Go talk to my assistant now. Get set up. We'll have a meeting tomorrow.
Well, people don't know how to capitalize on on what they have.
All the image. He had the toys. He's got the shiny gym, the shiny car, the apartment, always at the beach. This lifestyle image, but he
can't capitalize on. He's still paycheck to paycheck.
He was hollow.
Yeah. And it's what ends up happening is that when people start to, as my mom used to always say, when they start to smell themselves, right? They start to feel they have more options than they really have. You think because you put up a TikTok video and it got 1 million views that now your options are wide open. No, that's one viral video. You can ride that for as long as you want. Take a prime example. Look at the Haktua girl. She right now, I saw this post where she's got the number 3 podcast on Spotify that she just started.
That's crazy.
Most listened to Spotify. Why? Because she's riding the wave of fame. What's going to come of it? Who knows? But now people want, and she'll probably get a whole lot of guests because now her instant fame has made her appealing and has given her a shit ton of social capital. And people want to be around others with high social capital.
And think about it, she probably doesn't have to facilitate anything, just show up.
Yeah, that's all.
Don't even have to create the questions.
That's all. Here's the
writing for everything.
Here's the crazier part. Nobody even knows who the dude is who did the interview. Who did that initial interview.
Yeah. And he was trying to blow up his social media status. He was trying to blow up his status. Because he did a ton of interviews. And she was the last one.
Yeah.
So that means people were attracted enough to that video of his to see the end, but they only saw her.
And the funny thing is, all of that attention shifted to her.
Yeah.
And none of it is on him because everybody just kept reposting his. That's the thing about social media. You're a public account. Everybody can repost your shit. And now nobody even knows the dude because it's been reposted so many damn times. Nobody knows who the original video came from.
Yeah.
And if he comes out, they're going to be like, yeah. Where is she?
Yeah.
Because you didn't even know her name when you posted her.
Yep. We still don't even know her name.
No.
Haktua girl.
But she got us talking about her.
Yeah.
Because that built a certain amount of social capital. And when people are looking for, we talked about this before with pretty privilege and all of that stuff. When people are looking for a mate, here's what's interesting. Men would love to be with a woman nobody knows. Women won't be with a man nobody knows. They may not want you to be big on social media, but they want you to be big in your world. And it doesn't necessarily mean financially big. They just want you to
How you appear.
They want you to be a king.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when you really think about it. A man will be with a woman regardless if he thinks anybody else wants her. Because if he's attracted to her, he's attracted to her. I don't care if you like her or not. Women don't want to be with a man that nobody else wants, or that they think nobody else wants.
Right.
Why do you think married men are so attractive to single women? The biggest aphrodisiac
so many
is
years,
a wedding band.
I always take my wedding ring off. You see, I don't have it on now.
Yeah.
When I train, I never wear it. Ever.
Yeah.
I have more attention when I had it on.
Oh, same thing with my brother. Every married man I know will tell you that exact same thing.
Yeah.
And so it's why? Because why do we always say this? If you want to attract a woman, have a beautiful woman on your arm. Mm-hmm. You walk into a room with a woman who's got this air about her that's got her shit together. The men are looking like, damn, I wish I could have a woman like that. The women are looking like, damn, how did he get her?
All the time.
I want to know who he is, because believe it or not, ladies, you're going to hate this. You are a status symbol for your man. You are every bit, if not more important than his watch, than his car, than his home. Mm-hmm. The woman on a man's arm gives him so much social capital beyond belief.
Oh, especially if you're in business.
But you could also be the source of his social downfall.
Right. If a man's in business, he walks into a large room with a lot of other business likes. You come in there with your wife, and she's
on it,
man,
dude.
It is, but I don't have to say a word.
If you guys
would not have to say a word,
if you could divide and conquer, you walk in the room. She's like, "Go handle your business, babe. I'm gonna be over here," and you just see people approaching her, and she's just doing her thing. You've won. When you walk out, you've won, and all you did was say hello to a few people.
Yeah.
Because she's over there, closing the deal for you.
Yeah.
Why? Because people look at a guy and judge him by the woman who's on his arm. Mm-hmm. Nobody looks at a woman and judges her by the man on her arm as much as they do a man by the woman who's on his arm. It's that simple.
Yeah, which means women meet things with judgment, men meet things with curiosity.
A man rarely increases a woman's social capital. A lot of times they will increase their financial capital. Mm-hmm. A woman's sexual capital helps increase her social capital. It's hard for a woman to be attractive, not just physically, but just command a presence and have low social capital. It just doesn't happen. She's going to get offered more jobs. She's going to get offered more entry into rooms that normally she wouldn't get offered. Whereas a good-looking dude, people may want to be around him, but you put a good-looking woman on his arm, more people are going to want to be around him.
Absolutely.
You take a very attractive woman and put a good-looking dude on her arm, less people are going to want to be around her because they're going to be like, oh, we don't stand a chance because she's with that dude. And that dude's got something. Why? He's got to have something to have her.
Right. Right.
Right. So you're going to make him look 10 times better. And why do you think women never post their dudes on social media?
Oh, absolutely not.
Because what does it do? It decreases their social capital. Post your dude and watch your followers drop. That's the thought process. So they'll post a hand here and there. They'll post a vacation. They'll post a vacation with 2 glasses. There was somebody, but you don't know who it is. So, but it's crazy, right?
I didn't even think about
that. Yeah.
They don't.
They never post their dude.
They don't.
Even the ones that in their caption say wifey. Their dude is not anywhere on there. And because he doesn't want to be. Nah.
Maybe on his birthday.
No, he doesn't want to be. It's not about he doesn't want to be. He doesn't care. And because he doesn't care, you're not going to post him.
It doesn't drive him.
Because your social capital drops the minute your dude shows up. Why? Because your social capital is based on
Your
a
sexual.
persona of an attractive woman who might be attainable. The minute you show that you're married or that you have a dude, you become sort of unattainable, and that shit drops. And I get it. That's social media. That's how that shit works. But it's one of those things where I also think when you're a little bit delusional, man or woman, you think your options are more than they are. There's this comedian that talks about dating, and he's like, everybody should be assigned a number. If you're a solid 6 or you're a solid 8, he's like, you should at most be able to date one number up or as many down as you want. He's like, if you're a solid 6, you should just not even look at the 9 because that's just out of your dating range.
Right.
I forget which comedian it was. I wish I could give him credit for it, but it's same kind of thing. It's people think because they have something, an inflated ego, whatever it may be, that, oh, I should be able to obtain that. You're not there yet, and it's one of those things where you think you have all of these options when you don't.
Speak on it. I'm telling you.
A dude who is broke
Yeah.
doesn't have a whole lot of options.
Right.
A woman who, as she ages or as she becomes more successful, her options decrease. Why?
Absolutely.
Because the more successful a woman becomes, the older she gets, the dating pool for her gets smaller purely because of hypergamy. If she's looking for somebody that's her equal or better than herself in multiple ways, the higher she climbs in that social status, in that financial status, the harder it becomes. And they're not going to like me for this, but women, as you become more accomplished, as you make more money, as you age, your financial capital goes up, your social capital goes up, your sexual capital drops. And that's just a fact.
Because it becomes too challenging.
That's just a fact.
Yeah.
You hear women say, well, I'm much better looking at 50 than I was at 25.
But you're by yourself.
To you or to men who are trying to date you,
Right.
And so as things change, you have to learn, like with men, our social capital, our financial capital is shit when we start. And that is what controls our sexual capital. But as we get older, and that's why you have these guys, the silver foxes and all these people, as you get older, more refined, you become more intelligent, you start living in your purpose, you're driven, you're all these things that women find attractive only gets better and more as you age. So we gain capital as we age because we are now attaining all the things that women admire, which is status, which is wealth, which
Right.
is smarts,
Which is
leadership abilities.
Which is also, as we get older, you find yourself becoming less of a nice guy
Yes.
and more of a
Good guy.
good
Yeah.
guy, good person, because you start taking care of self versus worrying about how you're going to facilitate for others.
Yes.
People will benefit from me winning and want to be around me.
You stop trying to impress and you start
Yeah.
just living,
Yeah.
and
That's a
how
magnet.
you live your life. And
Magnet.
that, for some reason, people are attracted to you when you could give a fuck. Think about it.
Yeah. All the time.
That woman that you're like, I want to see you, I love you, I want to do this. You start turned off by that. But be cool. be nonchalant, be like, yeah, I'm busy, I have shit going on. There's nothing more attractive than that. Mm-hmm. She calls you and you can't pick up, you can't answer because you're busy, not just because you're playing a game, but because you are living your life outside of her. That's an aphrodisiac, man. I don't care what any of them are going to say about this, but it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. And so what we value versus what they value increases over time, decreases over time. Right. And that's just it. There's a crass statement that somebody once made that I saw that says, men age like fine wine, women age like milk.
Start to curdle.
And it's not saying you guys get sour and rotten. It's just saying you guys are born, and we said this before, you're at the top of the mountain and it's your job not to fall off. We're in the fucking valley, and we gain our status by the trials and tribulations of life to climb the mountain. We have to climb to the top. You guys start at the top.
And the thing that happens for us is we never see ourselves at the top, even when we are there.
No, we don't ever see the top of the mountain.
Ever.
We shouldn't. We should never we should never get to a point and be like, I made it. Nah, right. Because a dude who's actually ambitious enough to start the climb realizes there's always heights that are achievable. Mm-hmm. You can always go higher.
Right.
You will never summit Everest because you're always going to be climbing, And so we wanted to kind of go into this topic because we hear it all the time on our live, day-to-day life, that people feel they have so many options. People feel that they have so many options with work. Well, I want to do this. I want to do that. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out has never fucking worked.
Yeah.
Because I'll figure it out means you're procrastinating and you don't want to take on life.
Figuring out is Monday morning.
Yes.
All the same. Or next month.
Yeah.
The first.
And when you talk to women and you say they live a life of hypergamy, they get offended. But it's like, tell me where I'm wrong. And it's okay. The problem becomes with true hypergamy, and this is where it gets bad, is that no matter what you have in hand, you are always looking, or not even necessarily seeking it out, but you always have one eye on that door to see if something better is going to walk through.
Right.
I'm cool right here, but what if that over there could be a lever?
What if those roses smell a little bit better than the ones I have?
Yeah.
These are garden roses over here, but what about those?
And so you're not necessarily keeping your options open, but you are definitely not turning a blind eye. And I'll tell you, a man, if he's good with you, he's not looking for anything else. He's going to see women with a whole lot of sexual capital that cross his path, but he's not going to act on it because that's not where he is.
Like you say, oh, she fine. Oh, that'll cost you.
That's going to cost you. And believe it or not, people say all men cheat. Believe it or not, the majority of men look at the consequences and be like, the majority of men any man could cheat, but the majority of men look at the consequences and be like, nah, I'm good. Because that's going to cost me. And they just prefer not.
Yeah.
And those who have high financial and social capital, those dudes who are used to attracting the opposite sex aren't fazed by that shit.
Yeah.
It's just, they could be around in a setting, women all over and be like, yeah, whatever.
This is what you say. I'm smart enough to know that I'm dumb enough to do something stupid. So I just don't set myself up for that.
No, you don't put yourself in that situation.
Don't ever put yourself
And if you know that, all right, I'm not weak, I could be around a bunch of women and it means nothing.
Right.
And why? Because as men, as we get older, we've refined. We're not limited to what we can have. We limit what we want.
I was going to say that. Yep.
And it's a beautiful thing. We can be like, nah, I'd rather sit home and watch TV.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You start tallying up, oh, we got to travel, get there. I got to get this ready. I got to shave. I got to, all the things you have to do. You're like, man, I'll just stay home.
Or you're out with the boys, you're sitting down, you're having a drink, eating a meal, beautiful woman walks by. You all acknowledge it like, damn, she's hot. Anyway, so what were we talking about again? Why? Because, and it's so funny, because I'll be out with friends, like, dude, you should go talk to her, because I'm the single dude. You should go talk to her. For what? Well, you're the single guy and she's hot. What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm here hanging out. For you people that feel like you are a caged animal waiting to get loose,
Yeah.
that's not me. This is just a Tuesday for me.
Yeah.
I live in LA. They walk by all day. They walk. She'll probably be back tomorrow. Or a version of her will be there tomorrow. And if I feel like it, I'll say hello.
And the thing is, and people might take that out of context, of course, because that's what people do. That's not arrogance. That's just a fact. You know what I mean? That's just, there are people out there all day long. LA is a different animal because it is a land of a beautiful people. We have sunshine all the damn time. People are out.
And here's the funny thing. As we get older, we realize, and I saw this quote the other day and I posted it on my stories, and maybe gone by now. Dude was saying, what most people don't realize with men, we would much rather a 5, 6, or 7 that brings us peace than an 8, 9, or a 10 that brings us drama. Even though we are physical creatures, we choose peace over beauty all day because peace in a woman is beautiful.
And that is not confusing.
At all. That's across the board, 100% of men, bar none.
All we're trying to do every single day is bridge our gap, make it just a little bit shorter, make my life just a little bit easier.
That's all.
Just want to sweat just a little less. I only want to wear one T-shirt in a day, not 3.
Right.
I want my life to be just easier, just a little bit easier.
And so we're willing to accept that. It lets you ladies know that yes, we appreciate a beautiful woman. We appreciate a pretty face, a woman that's in shape. But peace, love, and respect will win all day, every day.
Right.
So when you see
social status, everything.
So now, ladies, when you're out and you see Adonis and he's with the most basic, average looking woman, and you're like, how the hell does she get him? Now you know. It ain't money. It ain't status. It's not her beauty because she's just plain Jane. You know what it is? That man has found his place of peace and he is completely content.
It ain't your beauty, it's your booty.
Right. And doesn't give a damn what other people think, if they like her or not.
Right.
There you have it.
I like what I like.
Oh man, good topic, man.
Yeah.
I think
it was a good call.
I think we kind of ran the gamut on stuff. Oh yeah. But it all comes down to, you think you have more options than you do.
Yes.
And hypergamy is a real thing. Ladies, it's okay. Just understand at some point in time, you are going to have to change your standards because as you go here, your options become way limited and you have to be willing to accept a good dude.
And if you're struggling, you might need to have standards. A lot of people don't have standards.
Or they think they do and their standards are fucking whack.
Right. They're just random thoughts.
Right.
That change with the wind. There it goes again.
Right.
Go whiz past me. So check your standards.
Right. Anyway, man, thank y'all for hanging out with us, man. Love these conversations. Love these conversations, man. Coach, where they gonna find you, man?
They'll find me at Coach KJ Knows on Instagram.
You're gonna find him also at
CoachKJ.com.
yes, sir. You're gonna find me at Lionel Hunt on IG. You'll find me at huntspine.com. Also, go check out thehuntfoundation.org. Doing big things always. SOE_podcast is the IG, and podcastsoe.com is where you'll find everything Coach and Doc. Every Saturday, most Saturdays, 11 o'clock, we go live.
Share, subscribe.
YouTube, Spotify, Apple, we're everywhere. Go check us out every Wednesday. This will be out this coming week on Wednesday. And we're going to start doing this shit live. We're going to start doing this live. We just haven't figured out how or when we want to do it. But it's coming. It's coming. Y'all get ready.
New York is coming.
It's coming.
LA
Big
is
things
coming.
Big things coming.
We out.